Now here in the city, chaos breaks out as migrants desperately seek shelter. A melee broke out at an East Village processing center this morning.
In a frantic search for more space to house asylum seekers, the city is now considering building a tent city on Randall's Island once again.
New York City has already allocated a staggering $1 billion for rental contracts with hotels alone to house hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants since the border crisis exploded in the spring of 2022. That is on top of other shelters and permanent housing the NY government has already provided. Now, it's not surprising that the government is considering even vacant commercial space to house the relentless surge of migrants arriving in the Big Apple. A now empty $42 million NYC WeWork office building is being offered up as an emergency migrant shelter. Will it be approved? Are illegal migrants now occupying the entire city as their population increases and the spaces they occupy expand? Stick around as we dive into this important topic. Welcome back, everyone. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep up with all the latest news. The crisis in New York City due to the arrival of many migrants is quite serious. While everyone is talking about the issues at the US-Mexico border, another problem is happening far away in New York. More than 175,000 migrants have come to the city. They're here because New York has a rule to give housing to anyone without a place to live. The financial strain on New York City is staggering, with the cost of providing shelter and aid reaching into the billions of dollars. Mayor Eric Adams has grimly warned that this issue threatens to destroy New York City. Already, over $12 billion has been allocated solely for the care of these migrants, a number that continues to climb as the migrant population swells. The $12 billion price tag may seem astonishing, but it only reflects the city's spending on illegal aliens. The continuous influx of new illegal aliens is also negatively impacting revenues, leaving the city with even fewer resources to meet the essential needs of New Yorkers. Under New York City's right to shelter law, approximately 16,000 hotel rooms across the city have been repurposed to accommodate the homeless, refugees, and migrants. By May 2023, Mayor Adams stated that nearly half of the city's hotel rooms were occupied by migrants. As of September 2023, the average nightly cost of a hotel room in New York City had soared to $504, double what it was 6 months earlier. This increase is likely due to the significant number of rooms being used to house illegal migrants. Even at the lower average cost in February 2023, the city is losing substantial revenue by not having 16,000 rooms available for tourists and business travelers. When Mayor Eric Adams started his job, there were about 50,000 people in shelters. Now there are over 120,000. That's more than double. Usually, making new shelters takes a long time. But in the last year and a half, New York has had to make a new shelter almost every day. It's been really hard for the city to keep up. This crisis isn't just in New York. Other cities like Chicago and Denver are facing similar problems. But in New York, it's especially tough. Mayor Eric Adams even said that this problem could ruin the city. It's a big challenge for everyone involved. The proposal to repurpose a vacant $42 million NYC WeWork office building in the Garment District into an emergency migrant shelter highlights New York City's pressing need for housing solutions amidst a rising migrant population. With the city currently grappling with an influx of 175,000 migrants from the southern border, finding suitable accommodations has become paramount. This initiative underscores the city's proactive response to the housing crisis, utilizing available resources to provide essential support to those in need. By converting unused spaces like the WeWork office building into shelters, New York City aims to address the immediate challenges posed by the growing migrant population while seeking long-term solutions. Let's work together to make our city better for everyone. Subscribe to stay informed and involved in building a stronger, more inclusive New York City. In the Garment District, there's a towering 16-story building. Once buzzing with business, now stands empty. The reason? WeWork, the office space-sharing giant, went bankrupt, leaving behind a vacant space. But wait, here's where it gets even more intriguing. The landlord of this towering building located at 315 West 36th Street has come up with a bold proposal. They want to transform it into an emergency shelter for migrants, a sanctuary for those seeking refuge in the city. Mayor Eric Adams' team has heard about this proposal, but it's still up in the air. The building's commercial part became vacant after WeWork's bankruptcy, and the property owner, Walter and Samuels, hit a rough patch with a loan. The building's value took a hit too, dropping from $127 million to $42 million in just 5 years. This building sits snugly between 8th and 9th Avenues, with Tabernacle Steakhouse, a kosher eatery, as its retail tenant. It's no surprise that the Adams administration is considering using this empty commercial space to tackle the influx of migrants pouring into the city. With the city's shelters overflowing and the need for more spaces growing urgent, officials are leaving no stone unturned. They're hunting through real estate listings, reaching out to brokers, and exploring every option to find suitable places for thousands of new arrivals. The city has already sheltered, fed, and assisted over 200,000 migrants in 200 shelters since the border crisis hit hard in 2022. Even Big Apple hotels have been temporarily transformed into emergency sites. The rental costs alone for these hotels are staggering, expected to exceed a whopping $1 billion. Under the leadership of Mayor Adams, with support from Governor Kathy Hochul and the Biden administration, massive tent cities have sprung up at Randall's Island, Creedmoor Psychiatric Center in Queens, and Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, a testament to the city's commitment to providing shelter and aid to those in need. The city's response to the migrant crisis, marked by reliance on temporary solutions like hotel conversions and tent cities, raises concerns about the lack of sustainable planning and coordination with real estate for long-term solutions. While these ad hoc strategies may address immediate needs, they fail to provide lasting solutions to the housing crisis. Converting commercial spaces into shelters, while a stopgap measure, may not be financially viable or sustainable in the long run. Moreover, the financial implications of these temporary solutions are substantial. The projected costs of hotel conversions alone exceed $1 billion, highlighting the strain on the city's budget and resources. This raises questions about the efficacy and sustainability of the city's approach to addressing the migrant crisis. Beyond the financial impact, the migrant crisis has broader implications for NYC's social fabric, real estate market, and public perception of the city's governance. The strain on local communities and services is palpable, with resources stretched thin to accommodate the influx of migrants. Failure to address the root causes of the crisis may have long-term consequences, exacerbating social tensions and straining relations between communities and local authorities. As the crisis persists, it underscores the urgent need for comprehensive, sustainable solutions that address the underlying issues driving migration while ensuring the well-being of all residents. The recent transformations of commercial buildings into migrant shelters, such as the WeWork building, have sparked a wave of reactions and concerns across New York City. The WeWork building, with its appraised value plummeting from $127 million to $42 million in just 5 years, serves as a stark example of the economic implications of repurposing commercial spaces for migrant housing. Similarly, Austell Place's conversion into a large intake center for nearly 1,000 migrants highlights the magnitude of the city's response to the migrant crisis, with over 200 sites accommodating more than 100,000 migrants since April 2022. The economic ramifications of these conversions are significant, as prime commercial real estate is repurposed for housing instead of business or retail, potentially impacting the city's economic vitality. The office vacancy rates in areas like Northwest Queens, where Austell Place is located, already exceed the city's average, adding to concerns about the long-term effects on the real estate market. Furthermore, Mayor Eric Adams' stark warning that the influx of migrants could destroy New York City underscores the urgency of the situation. With reports of increasing violence among migrants, including incidents like the accidental shooting of a tourist in Times Square, public safety concerns are heightened. To address the concerns raised about the allocation of resources and the impact of migrant housing on local communities, it's crucial to evaluate the potential limitations on upcoming migrant arrivals in New York City. Some argue that it's unfair for New York locals when taxpayer funds are directed towards supporting migrants instead of addressing the needs of citizens, including homelessness among Americans. This sentiment is further exacerbated by budget cuts in essential sectors like education and law enforcement, raising concerns about public safety. Reports of violent crimes committed by some migrants, such as robberies, shootings, and attacks on law enforcement, add to these apprehensions. Additionally, the occupation of vacant commercial buildings by migrants may have economic repercussions and potentially impact local businesses. There's a fear that if left unchecked, the migrant population could continue to expand, potentially leading to further strain on resources and the city's infrastructure. It's essential to address these concerns and find a balanced approach that ensures the well-being of both migrants and the local community while safeguarding the city's economic vitality and public safety. Let's take a moment to think about our city and how we can make it better for everyone. How can we help migrants while also taking care of our community? Let's find ways to support each other and work towards solutions that make our city safer and more welcoming for everyone. Join us in this journey by subscribing to stay informed and involved. Together, we can build a stronger, more inclusive New York City.